This is something that we've got 4 weeks and 6 days until the window closes on a potential Deshaun Watson trade. The Dolphins very much want him. They just haven't been willing to give the Texans what they want for him. Jay Glazer of Fox reported over the weekend that the Texans are starting to soften their stance. Don't know what that means by way of what they want. But now, today, Glazer tweeted, keep your eyes on this situation, specifically in reference to Deshaun Watson. And something that we talked about yesterday, because Jalen Hurts, maybe the Eagles are trying to do like an accelerator thing to figure out exactly where he's going to be. I don't know. But if Jalen Hurts isn't the guy and the Eagles sense the Dolphins are going to speak now or forever hold their peace, the Eagles need to do the same. And they need to make their move if they're ever going to make a move for Deshaun Watson, because he could be gone by March. If the Eagles decide to give Hurts a full season, it's going to be too late to pivot to Deshaun. So Glazer's tweet, and I'm surprised he did it, because what it does is it's like the bucket of chum into the shark-infested waters, and all the reporters are going to chase it now to figure out what's going on. But it feels like something's coming, and it's worth keeping an eye on it. If Glazer says keep an eye on it, I'm keeping an eye. I'm keeping both eyes on it if he says keep an eye on it, Myles.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, when it's coming from Glazer, you feel like there is something behind it. And it's interesting, too, because you've got two teams with Miami and with Philadelphia that ostensibly have guys that they can continue to trot out there for the rest of the season in hopes that they can develop into the franchise QB. And I mean, Tua Tagovailoa in that way in Miami, and then obviously Hurts, as we were just talking about, with Philadelphia. So, and really, I mean, you don't know when Tua is going to be back, at least at this point with the ribs injury. I'm not sure what the latest update is out of Miami with that, but it just seems interesting that you've got those two guys where you feel like maybe they can develop versus another guy who is ensconced in legal issues right now, but eventually you feel like he already is the franchise quarterback. And we know that he's probably never going to play another snap for Houston, right? And they've basically got him on paid leave without putting him on paid leave. So you need to figure out, if you're Houston, all right, is this the best time for me to do this? And if they're softening their stance, maybe that's what they're starting to feel like, that it actually is the best time for them to actually execute this trade. And if one team starts to get the sense that the other is interested, whether it's Philadelphia, it's Miami, it could be somewhere else that we just don't really know about right now, then yeah, these things are going to start heating up, and maybe one of these teams does offer something to Houston that they feel comfortable accepting.
And, as time goes on, as each week passes and Deshaun Watson continues to get paid to not play, you don't know what kind of pointed questions Nick Caserio, the GM of the team, is getting from the people who fund those salaries. I remember pointing out last Thursday and Friday, if you're a Texans fan, how are you not completely dismayed, regardless of how we got here? And I know that there are serious allegations that are pending against Deshaun Watson. He needs to have his reckoning. He needs to make some semblance of justice arise for the individuals who claim that they had their rights violated in some way, and it looked like at one point a settlement was in the works. Now you've got the criminal justice system that could work itself out by the end of this month. We don't know where that grand jury process stands, but the Texans may just be deciding, let's move on. And I thought at one point, Myles, he could just get to the point where he goes to the Texans and says, I want to play football. I don't think that's going to happen, because he is more committed to not playing for them than he is to playing football at all. But it just feels like something's changed. If Glazer is out there sending this message that the Texans are softening, keep your eye on the situation, it tells me that between now and November 2, the final day for all trades until March of next year, 4 p.m. Eastern is when that ends, something's going to happen. I feel like something's going to happen between now and then.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. And look, it's because these teams aren't sold on the quarterbacks that they already have. I mean, if you look at what was going on in Miami, it's not just us now that have been saying it doesn't look like Tua Tagovailoa is the franchise QB, or at least that they made a mistake in taking Tua before Justin Herbert was off the board, right? I saw a column from the Sun Sentinel. Dave Hyde had written it today or yesterday, whenever the column came out, that it's pretty clear that the Dolphins made a mistake. So all you Miami people, don't just come after me and Mike. You got to go after one of your own now. So I didn't want to say that. Because it's not just us. The Tua haters.
The Tua Mafia knows no limits. I tell you what, though, they got some competition. They got some competition. The Zach Wilson Mafia is pretty damn strong. The Zach Wilson Mafia is already stronger than the North Jersey mob. Yes. They're
Are people really saying bad things about Zach Wilson? No, he's only had 3 games, man. And that team's a disaster. It's not his fault.
Well, no, but I think the idea is if you point out the fact that he had 4 interceptions, he got sacked a bunch of times, just don't suggest that it means that he will be anything but the best quarterback of his generation, because the struggles he's dealing with now mean nothing as it relates to the inevitable ascension of Zach Wilson to the top of the list of franchise quarterbacks. That's all I'm saying. That's where the Zach Wilson Mafia comes down.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.